So yes, from your experience working with a number of different universities and just seeing the space, are universities getting it? And educational institutions more broadly, I should say. Are they becoming innovative, or are they falling behind, hopelessly behind in some cases?
I think I I don't think that anybody is falling behind. It's just that perhaps the pace of has moved up.
Hmm.
So, I only think about AI. Every morning, I'm only trying to find out what's happened with AI, and I can barely keep up. So how can a system or an institution keep up? So I think we're still in that stage where it's emerging technology and new things are being discovered, new use cases are being discovered every day. So I think it is difficult to keep up, but I think that we're starting to see some areas where it is becoming clear that it's got a genuine help for the education process. So I think we're going to start to hone down on one of the most important first use cases agreed across education will be AI as a tutor, not as a
Hmm.
teacher. I earnestly do not believe that AI is ever going to be able to replace a teacher because a teacher does way, way more than give you information.
Right.
But AI as a tutor, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of focus on those use cases. Um, and then I think other use cases will come along, and that will help us then to be able to say, this is the positive role it can play in education. And
Hmm.
we can start to nudge out all of the either the negative roles or the ways that it can, cause us to feel like we're moving forward, but we're not. So yeah, I think we'll kind of start to see that. But the challenge for the education system is how do you keep up with all of that? Even just what AI should you enable for your students? It's probably easy when you've got an 18 plus audience.
Hmm.
But if you're vocational education, if your students are starting at 14, 15, or 16, it's a very different world about how you provide resources and facilities for them. So that governance piece is really important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and obviously, yeah, there's a lot to dig into on that. But that's encouraging your broad view that institutions aren't falling behind. Um, I do wonder about the urgency and immediacy of expectations of consumers, right? So
Yeah.
who has the time to go to a 3 year or 4 year undergraduate degree when they can do a yeah, a boot camp, or they can do accelerated or work integrated learning, blended models. So it will be interesting to see how that evolves and just these expectations. Well, look, I can learn all that, or I don't have to learn it. I can just have my assistant here help.
Yeah, I think it puts some real pressure on the education system because of that mismatch potentially between the learner and why they are coming to university and the employer. Because the number one reason people go to university is to get a better job. Like I, I know that there are lots of other reasons, and there's lots of socioeconomic stuff in there, but
Yeah.
actually the number one reason people go to university is to get better employment chances. And so part of that then has to link to the skills that they need to be able to sit in front of an employer. And sure, it's not all about technology, but look, there's this very basic skill
Hmm.
that is now being looked for by employers, and they are looking for the younger generation. Like I believe um, in a couple of years' time, the perfect recruit into graduate programs and for employers is the student that really, really understands technology and is the smart one that knows how to use AI. And I'll pair them up. If I'm a law firm, I'll pair them up with my crusty 60-year-old lawyer that thinks that technology is a waste of time because they've got deep experience in the industry and the use cases and all of those kind of things. And I'll pair them up with a 21-year-old that knows no barriers and has no limits to what they can imagine is possible. And they've got this AI tool to help them do it. And that will be the brilliant combo. Um,
That's great.
and it may not matter that they don't have much experience in law.
Hmm.
Today, maybe the last few years, those people have been hired to go and do the research and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they'll be hired to build the new model of what a law practice will look like, what an accounting practice will look like, what a, management consultant. All these industries are going to change. And, the graduate in a year or 2 years' time will have learned so much about AI, either because the education institution has helped them or because they've helped themselves. Uh,
Yeah.
there was a case a couple of years ago, a student in Turkey who was found cheating in their university exams. What they had done is that they'd integrated a camera into their glasses, they had an earpiece, and they had a internet hub in the heel of their shoe. And so the camera was looking at the exam paper, that was going down to the internet hub, it was going out to an AI system that was reading the question and then giving them guidance in their ear. That student got caught and expelled from the university. I reckon there would have been a pile of employers waiting at the exit door, waiting to hire that person,
Yeah,
because that's the kind
absolutely.
of innovation and efficiency that you want as an employer. Okay, doesn't match with the education experience because we're trying to do something different. But that's the two worlds.
That's great. Now, I'm not sure if that's that modern day Maxwell Smart or Mission Impossible, but that yeah, that concept of not having boundaries, not I need to go through the process, I need to spend 10, 15 years.